Lucky you, tube. So basically, I went out to work today, and there's a gentleman downstairs that's sleeping. So I told him, well, when are you not going to be sleeping in the day? He said tomorrow. Today's Saturday, so I guess I'm going to just come back out to work on Sunday, which is tomorrow. You guys like my glasses? These only cost me like $4.99, and you know what? They're literally safety glasses too, so they're great. Look at my hair. Let's go get a haircut. You guys will be able to tell when I get a haircut. But anyways, yeah. And so here's the thing. It was really interesting because it's costing me an extra, at least minimum, $10 to $15 because of gas. I'm driving this, Escalade that it literally. I'm going to show you guys so you can see that I'm not lying. Okay, I got a 44-mile range, and there you go. Can you see that? 12 miles to the gallon. That's what this Escalade gets. It gets 12 miles to the gallon. So if I'm only getting 12 miles to the gallon, I don't want to drive back. I don't want to drive back and forth to a job site and then be sent home. Now, he's not the boss. He's just the renter. But the thing is he needs to get up for work in a few hours or whatever because he's doing night shift. And I did night shift for a long time. So I said, you know what? I'd be happy to do that favor for you because I know how important it is for me to depend on you when I need the same. And he didn't understand what I meant by that. But what I meant is, dude, I'll leave and I'll come back tomorrow. But, I need like $10, $20 for gas or something. And at first he was like, oh, no. But then he kind of thought about it. And that sleep was worth $10. And so, and there might have been another way to figure it out too, but the thing is it is the weekend. It's Saturday. I'd like to go home and make some content. And actually, I've already made content. I just have to put it up. So I'd like to do that. Fortunately, I don't really do much editing, so I don't really have to edit right now, but that's going to change soon. As soon as I get the, software. I'm working on trying to get a new computer. But, right now, I just got like this little Surface Pro. But anyways, so getting to the point. Of course, I'd be happy to do that for you because I know how important it is for me to depend on you when I need the same. Now, the thing about this is every day, people literally just give stuff away for free. And what they're doing is they're giving away their most valuable asset for free. And what it is it's your time. And so someone will say, hey, could you do this for me? And you're like, oh yeah. And then they're like, oh, well, thank you for that. And you're like, hey, that's my job. Not a problem. Oh, you're welcome. See, all these responses are very nice, but the problem is they're promoting the people to just ask again and possibly not give you anything in return. And so that's why it's so important. So instead of saying, oh, not a problem, that's my job, you say, of course I'd be happy to do that favor for you because I know how important it is for me to depend on you when I need the same. I actually said that to my stepdad, like right as he was basically like, he was sick and he was pretty much dying, and then he did die. But I said that to him and he got super, super upset. And for the last 3 months while he was alive, and then the 3 weeks, he literally was just so mad at me. I literally worked for him for 10 years. And, well, not 10 years straight, but 10 years off and on with exotic dancing or whatever. And so basically what I did was I booked exotic dancers here in Portland. And we're going to talk about all those crazy stories later on. That's not really what the channel is about right now. But we're going to get into some backstories about Greg so you guys know. But yeah, so I booked exotic dancers for like 10 years up here in Portland. So basically, my early 20s or my late 20s all the way through my 30s, basically. But the thing is that he was always there for me, okay? And if I asked him for something, he wasn't afraid to say no. But he was always there for me. And if I ever borrowed anything from him, I always was obligated to pay it back. We had a business relationship that was probably stronger than most, would actually believe. Some would probably think that he just kind of took me under his wing and just, kind of gave me this and that and just whatever. The only person I've ever seen him do that to is his son and the girls. He's never, and he has done that with me, but just not in the same way. So much so that I lived with him for a couple of years, and, his son, his actual biological son, moved up, and the next thing you know, I have to pull my Mustang SVT Cobra out of the driveway and put it in the cul-de-sac because his son was there, and his son was able to just, trump my parking spot that obviously wasn't my house, and I wasn't really even paying rent. He was just, I guess I wasn't paying rent, but what I was doing is I was paying with my time. I was helping him quite a bit, like literally, because he was a little disabled, and so he needed a bird dog to help him, and that's basically, that's what I was doing. But yeah, right away, nepotism took over, and he made me put my Mustang SVT Cobra out there on the curb, and wouldn't you know, it actually got stalled. But since I always unhooked the battery, they only got it down the hill a little ways, busted the ignition and smashed it all up. And that wasn't his fault because he made me park it in the cul-de-sac. But the funniest thing is the car that that did not get sold, that was parked in the driveway, was just like a little piece of shit. And so, I don't know, that kind of pissed me off when he did that, and that's why I'm venting it out. But we've got to be ready for this type of stuff. And so, of course, I'd be happy to do that for you because I know how important it is for me to depend on you when I need the same. And so don't ever forget that phase, because the thing is, if you say this to someone, and I'm going to repeat it because I want you guys to remember this, of course, I'd be happy to do that favor for you because I know how important it is for me to depend on you when I need the same favor. Now, the people that literally oh yeah, not a problem. There you go, intent. That's a good person. That's the person you should hang out with. The person that actually believes that you owe them and that they don't owe you time for what you're about to do for them, walk away. Unfortunately, that was my dad. And he's the one who gave himself he was the one who basically elected himself that it was okay for him to expect me to do for him, and then, him not have to do anything in return. But the reason why was because he did so much stuff for me prior that he was looking back at that. But here's the thing, when you do stuff for people, you can't do stuff for people and then hold it over their head later. My sister taught me this. Very, very, very smart. And I'll get into that story because it's really important too. But I got to get into this thought. So if you're doing things for people just so they'll do things for you, then don't be disappointed when they don't do nothing for you. However, if you use that phrase, because I know how important it is for me to depend on you, then basically you obligate them to do for you if you're going to do for them. So here's a good example. I moved my sister in. She was having trouble with her boyfriend. So I moved her into my house from all the way across the country, basically Florida, and I'm over here in Oregon. So I paid to get her stuff shipped here, and I helped her pay for her plane ticket. Actually, to tell you the truth, it was so long ago, I don't even remember all the stuff I paid for. But I know it was quite a bit. It wasn't cheap. It was in the thousands. It even could have been over 2,000. I don't remember exactly. It doesn't really matter. That's not the point. The point is that I got her over here, and I let her start staying with me or whatever, and then I was giving her free rent too. And then I think towards the end, she started helping me out with the rent, or I don't remember exactly everything. But what I do remember is that I made a deal with her. And I said, okay, because I was in junior college at the time. So this was a long time ago. This might have been 10, 13, maybe even 14 years ago. But so I told her that, look, I'm taking this business class and I need some help, so how about I have you move in and then you can kind of help me. And she just said yes, because she wanted to get out of her situation. She didn't say yes because she really was capable of helping me, but I didn't take that into consideration, that literally she wasn't even capable of helping herself, which I should have taken that into consideration, considering that she didn't have the money to leave the situation she was in, and she wanted to bring her situation into my situation. So there you go, intent. And I was not aware at the time, and I wasn't thinking about it. But she moved in, and then I wasn't getting help. So, hang on one second, guys, sorry. Someone's trying to call me, but it's 1-800 number, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, so she wasn't able to help me because she wasn't emotionally available to even help me with this stuff. So she pretended to try to help me, and then I was just going to get a terrible grade on the paper that she was basically proofreading. And so I got really upset because that was kind of the deal. And I told her that, this and that. And long story short, she moved out, and we got into a pretty good dispute for a while over that. Well, years later, we talked about it, and she told me that, you can't give to me and think that I'm just going to give back to you because you gave to me. If you want to give to me, then give to me, Now, I think there was some sort of stipulation because I told her that I wanted to help. But the thing is that I wasn't taking into consideration what was really going on in the situation. That she really could... No, it didn't matter what she said. What mattered is what she was doing. And what she was doing was a perfect indication that she wasn't going to be able to help me with what I needed help with. And I just ignored it. But in the end, she basically told me that, you can't help me thinking that I'm just going to be able to help you. And so when she told me that, it just kind of really resonated with me for a long time that, don't go around helping people and, expectations that they're going to treat you the same way or they're going to do the same. Because if you do that, you're probably going to be disappointed. And so I stopped doing that. But I also learned to not let people get away and get off the hook. Because the thing is, if you're going to do something for somebody and you say, hey, nope, not a problem. I'm your brother. Not a problem. That's my job. Oh, I feel good because I did that for you just to help you out. That kind of stuff is great. But once you pull out that, magical phrase, of course, I'd be happy to do that favor for you because I know how important it is for me to depend on you. Matter of fact, if I would have done that phrase to my sister back in the day, she probably wouldn't have came and lived with me because she wasn't emotionally available to do anything for herself, let alone for me. So it didn't really matter. She might get upset that I'm kind of talking about her on the internet here, but this was so many years ago, and long story short, I really learned something valuable from my sister at that time that I just wasn't taking into consideration, and it made me do more research on the subject, and then I became, a better person because of it. So, but going back to the guts of it is, I did that to my dad too once, and then he got really upset at me. And the reason why he got upset at me is because because he felt like he didn't owe me anything. He felt like he had already done enough for me, and that basically I was just in debt to him, which is exactly what I kind of was doing to my sister, but it's not right. You can't do that to people. Or, well, you can, but don't be surprised when they're like, So, but here's the cool thing. So when my stepdad was dying, and I was in the hospital with him for like 3 or 4 days, when he was dying, the first thing I said, I wanted to apologize about that because, he's dying now. And if it really made him that upset, who cares? How about I just apologize, or how about I try to make it right before he dies? That's what I was thinking. Who cares? I really don't care. This is not a battle of who did what for each other or egos. This is just straight about unconditional love. And he just looked me dead in the eye, and he could barely talk at that time, but he just looked me dead in the eye and he said, I get it. And so I hope you guys get it, because it really changed my whole life. understanding like how powerful those words are and how they can help you navigate through your life so that you don't, so you don't make bad choices. I mean, that's the bottom line. You don't want to make bad choices. So, it's pretty easy to say that to someone and then find out that, oh, well, I know their intent. Their intent is for me to help them, but they don't want to help me. And that's just the bottom line. So I hope this video, helped you guys out. And whoever stayed all the way till the end, I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button. And if you guys have any questions, you can always, ask. I actually really appreciate that when you guys, reach out on the YouTube channel and talk in the comments, because this keeps the algorithm going, and it also allows me to ponder and think and, help you guys out. So, if it doesn't come from love, it's wrong. This is Gregory's Odd World signing out. And don't forget, I actually have a Gregory's Odd World Gaming too, if you guys want to check that out. I'm on TikTok, Gregory's Odd World. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter and Facebook. So, I'm on everything. So, if you guys haven't found me yet, you will. Well, that's it. Gregory's Odd Jobs signing out. Or Odd Jobs. I said Odd Jobs. That's funny, because I actually run Gregory's Odd Jobs. Oh, okay. I'm out of here. Bye, guys.